Hi, everyone. I hope everyone is doing great today. I thought I would come on and speak about this type of attitude whenever Black Americans, FBA descendants of freedmen, have any type of, protest about or contest any type of mistreatment that we get from people on the outside of our community, you know, in any setting that we're in, you know. All these groups who are basically targeting us to treat us disparately or, like basically discriminate, to treat us differently because we're not from their communities or we're just black people. There's an anti blackness that goes around, and when we respond to the energy that they're giving us, we're always labeled as crybabies or we're victims and things like that. And that is very dangerous for us to have to accept that that's what it is. Because when we believe that's actually what's taking place, or we believe that we don't have a right to express our, displeasure of how people treat us as a group of people, it creates a situation where a lot of black people will go into themselves and just basically suffer in silence. Maybe even become very depressed because of that. And I'm just here to say, forget it. You know, we have to basically continue to air our grievances, about how we're treated by all these groups from outside of our community, how we're being treated, even by the people that who are inside of our community who want to basically coon for these other groups and basically, sell us out in any industry that we're in, as far as even if we're working, if we're business people, whatever. We have a right. We have a right, just like everybody else. When they have grievances and they don't like something, they perceive that they're being targeted because of their race or their ethnicity or their national origin or whatever the case may be. They'll come out and say things and say it is, even if it's not. Just like with these people being deported, they want to say it's racism, it's xenophobe, and all this kind of stuff. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with you guys coming over here illegally and taking all the resources and being very ill mannered. You're being acting out violently out here. You're, trashing our country. You're doing all kind of things. And it's happening all over the world, which is why people are being deported everywhere. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about all of these other groups on the outside basically showing that they're deeply anti-black by saying things like that. And that's being anti-black. When you say that we're just basically being victims, when we complain about how we're being treated, that's a reason to complain. Because if it happens to them, you see what they're doing, these other groups that are being deported, all these foreigners are being deported, you see what they're doing. They're on the outside of our community. They're not black American descendants of freemen, but they're complaining when they get put out of here and saying it's racism and this is xenophobia, right? Okay, so they're not crybabies. They're not playing as they're not pretending to be victims. They're more victims and crybabies than we are, because you cannot even protest for things like that. How do you protest because you're being put out and you're here illegally? How do you even have a right to do that in a country that's not your homeland? You're not even a legal citizen to even be in a country, and you over in this country causing all these problems, causing this country to spend, tons of money on you, because everything that's happening, they have to pay. If they deport you, it costs money. If they accept you, it costs money. So the fact that you're merely over here is costing them money. And if they had no humanity and didn't care about you, they wouldn't give your ass nothing. When you come over here, they'll let you just, hey, you got to get it how you can get it. And we'll put you out of here. But as long as you're here, you got to get it how you can get it. We're no longer paying your way. We're not giving you medical. We're not giving you food stamps. We're not giving you anything, right? Okay, so you guys are fighting, screaming, and hollering, and claiming foul and saying that people are discriminating against you and all this stuff because of what you look like, because you have an accent. No, you cannot compare apples and oranges. And that's what you're doing when you do that. But we have every right to complain about it when the same groups that are yelling about deportations are targeting black people and being quite anti-black. But then want our help at the same time. Make that make sense, please. How do you want our help, but then you're doing all these things to us while you're here? You're targeting us, coming to our communities. Why don't you go to the white people's community? And stop coming to our communities if you really dislike us to that degree. You don't have to come to our communities. We didn't ask you to be here, and we won't miss you when you leave. Just stop coming to our communities if you don't like us. And we have every right to air our grievances out. We have every right to say if somebody's treating us in a way that's racist or whatever. All the stuff that happens to black people in this country, there's no way you can't say that it's not racism. It's due to racism. This country was built on racism. That's why it's in the fabric of this country. That's why race is the base of everything in this country. It's not like other countries, the countries that y'all come from or whatever. It is what it is. And then we have the white people that want to gaslight and call us crybabies and say we are victims and this and that too. They do it as well. That's where you guys get it from. And that's why we know that you guys come over here to be deeply anti-black like them. You come over here targeting us so you can get in the great good graces of the white people. That's why you're over here and you talk just like the white supremacists. All of y'all talk like that. Even the melanated ones that come over here talk that way, calling us all kind of names, derogatory racial slurs and stuff. I mean, we're not supposed to complain about any of it. And you calling us crybabies when you're crying when they deporting your behind out of here. It's just like coming to somebody else's house that you're not invited into. And when they put you out, you want to cry and say that it's because of what you look like. You weren't invited. So get your ass out of here. Get out. Or get put out, one way or the other. And that's pretty much what the United States government is doing to you guys. And that's what they're saying. That's how they're rolling. You done came up in here and you were not supposed to be here. Too bad Kamala and Biden and all these other presidents, or however long you've been here, let you come in here and use you as political pawns just to get votes. Because that's all they're doing is use and cheap labor. That's all they're using you for. But still, it still doesn't give you the right to come over here and tell us what we can't get, as far as our reparations when y'all hands stay stuck out. Let me just give you some advice. Next time the U.S. government wants to extend some type of benefit to you that you're not actually entitled to, that actually belongs to other groups of people such as us, the Black American people that you guys want to come over here and hate on, why don't you say no thank you? Stop accepting the money that they're giving you in all forms of cash. Say no. Say no thank you when they give it to you. Okay? Because you're telling us that we're not entitled to our reparations, but none of you guys are saying no thank you. When this government, any government system in the United States is giving you money, you're not saying no thank you to it. You're taking it. And then you have the audacity to tell us that we're begging. We keep begging the government for money. I mean, you guys have lost your minds. And then you have the nerve enough to tell us to fight for you, to help you protest. Have you lost your minds? No, we're going to sit back, eat our popcorn, and enjoy the show. That's what we're going to do. Because I'm just not one of those people. I take very good notes on how you treat me and how you move. So if you tell me 100,000 times that you don't like me, that you despise me, that you hate me as a person because of what I am and what I look like, then yeah, I'll pull those notes out when you come back around and you ask for help. Those notes, I'll read those notes and I'll read them back to you if you want me to, because there's no way in the world I would help people who come over here just to benefit. They're not coming over here for no asylum. And even if you are, we're only supposed to allow so many people in here to claim asylum. They have no proof on how if these asylum claims are even legitimate or not, because they did not vet these people. It's too low. It's too late now. You guys, it ain't like they can go backwards and then vet you. No, you should have done it before you came in here. You guys were throwing your passports away before you even got in here. So stop it. You knew what you were doing when you came over here. You just didn't care. And you living on top of American people. You don't care what you do. You over here tearing this country up. Got all this criminality in here. I mean, just doing it, scamming, everything. Violence. Anything bad you can think of, and that's what you guys have pretty much brought in here. You're not bringing any value to this country. This country is not progressing with you at all. It's just progressing with population, but it did not happen organically, and that's why the resources are lacking. Because this country, when you get vetted, they know how many people are coming in here, and then they can plan accordingly. But when you just let people just come in, and you not counting how many people are coming here, you're not even asking questions about who's coming in, you set yourself up for a lot of problems. I mean, this place is in, I mean, we have security issues, and I understand my video is going off on a tangent. And again, before I close this video, I would like to let you guys know that we have a right to complain about what we're complaining about, and I suggest you mind your own business. Okay, and if you don't like to hear us complain, then stop targeting us with anti-blackness. Okay, and then maybe you won't hear us complain about it, because there's a lot of things that we're dealing with that you guys turn your head to because you can. We cannot. So stop gaslighting us and telling us that we're crybabies, or we just, we're victims and that we complain too much. What are you doing now with your deportations? Are you not complaining? What are you doing now that Trump has cut you off, your lifeline off, here to the United States? Are you complaining? You didn't have all that money and stuff before you came over here. You were poor when you came here. Okay, most of you were poor. Okay, that's why all y'all depending on some type of subsidy from this United States of America, or you guys got some other type of criminality going on to bring you cash, or both. So don't go there. But you guys tell me what you think in the comment section. Please share my video, and please do not forget to subscribe. And everyone, please have a safe day out there.